Have you ever seen those people who can recite hundreds of digits of pi and just thought, how? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain. We're not just learning pi, we're breaking down the secret technique from a viral video that makes this whole thing possible for, well, pretty much anyone.
So let me just ask you straight up, does that sound even remotely possible, memorizing 400 digits of a random, never-ending number, all from watching just one video? It's a heck of a claim, and it's the one we're digging into today. And I'm guessing your first reaction is something like, yeah, right, no way. Because, trying to just force a long string of numbers into your head, it feels like running into a brick wall. For most of us, it really is impossible.
Okay, but here's where it all changes. What if we just stopped playing that game? What if those boring, abstract numbers weren't just data anymore? What if instead they became part of a story? This really gets to the heart of why it feels like an impossible challenge. Our brains, you see, they're not really built to remember random, abstract stuff. It's just not how we're wired. But give us a story, a song, a vivid image, we can remember that stuff for years. And that leads us to the big secret, the technique from this video. It's all about creating something called number stories. The whole trick is to connect those meaningless digits to things our brains absolutely love, like a catchy rhythm, crazy images, and sound. Now, this isn't some new age magic trick. There's actually a name for this. It's called a mnemonic device. It's a super powerful learning tool that basically links boring information to something your brain finds easy to remember, like a funny picture, a ridiculous rhyme, or a memorable little story.
And the video we're looking at puts it perfectly. The goal is to escape what it calls boring math. So instead of just looking at numbers, you connect them to an actual experience, a song with a beat, some really weird visuals, and sounds that stick with you.
All right, so let's actually decode the pi song they use. It is a fantastic case study in something I like to call memorable absurdity. So check out this line from the song. 97566 all wearing their vendor kicks. I mean, it's so weird and specific, right? It immediately paints this bizarre little picture in your head. And bam, just like that, your brain now has a hook for this number sequence, 97566. You're not actually remembering the number, you're remembering the weird shoes. See how that works? Let's do another one. The song says, 933, I'll climb up a tree to see for miles and 46 clouds. You notice it's not a fact to memorize. It's a little scene. You can almost picture being up in that tree. And there you go. The lyric just embeds the numbers right into that mental movie. Climbing the tree is 933. Seeing the clouds is 46. It turns a boring string of digits into a tiny, unforgettable adventure. And here is the absolute key to all of this. Our brains are hardwired to notice things that are new, strange, or unusual. So the weirder the image you create, the more powerful the memory will be. So, believe it or not, we can actually boil this down to a simple formula. There are really just a few key ingredients that make this learning technique so incredibly effective. Here it is, the magic formula. First, you need a catchy rhythm, something that gets stuck in your head. Then you layer on bizarre, vivid images. The stranger, the better. You connect those images with little stories. And finally, you chunk the information into small, manageable groups. And the best part? The song itself is totally in on the joke. It literally says, oh, this song is so absurd, just finding your random words. So the absurdity isn't a mistake. It's the entire point. That's what makes it stick. Okay, but here's what really matters. This whole thing, it's not actually about memorizing pi. Pi is just the vehicle. This is really about unlocking a powerful new tool for your own memory and your own potential. This completely changes the way you approach learning. You can stop trying to just, cram raw data into your head. Instead, you start creating these rich, multisensory experiences that your brain can absorb almost without effort. And what's so cool is that you can use this simple 4-step process for basically anything you want to learn. First, figure out what you need to remember. Then, break it down into small bite-sized chunks. Invent the weirdest, most personal images you can think of. And then, just link them all together with a little story. That's it. So, if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this metaphor. Your brain isn't a hard drive designed to just store files of data. It's a story processor, evolved over millennia to make sense of the world through narrative, through connection, and through experience. Which really just leaves us with one final exciting question. Now that you know the secret to this kind of amazing memorization isn't some special genius, but just having the right technique, what impossible thing are you going to learn next?